What's up guys, welcome back to another video here at Chief Academy, and today we'll be going through enlarging with negative scale factors. Don't like and subscribe if you haven't already, because I promise you, it is this easy. Our learn outcomes for today is to understand what enlarging is and how to enlarge with a negative scale factor. It's also to solve enlarging with negative scale factor exam questions. So, what is enlarging with a negative scale factor? An enlargement with a negative scale factor produces an image on the other side of the centre of enlargement. We draw guidance lines through our given centre to draw them accurately. In this lesson, we will focus on solving enlarging with negative scale factor exam questions and learn how to sketch them. As we said before, enlargement is a type of transformation that changes the size of a shape by making it bigger or smaller by multiplying its side lengths by a scale factor. Enlargements have real-life functions, such as changing the size of photographic prints or pictures in documents. As we're dealing with negative scale factors, they will happen in the quadrant diagonally opposite to the one it is in, as you can see by the example here. So this would be an enlargement by either -2 or -1/2, depending on which shape you started. If you started with the small one, being an enlargement by -2, start with the big triangle, being an enlargement by -1/2. Once again, it's that time to have a go at some Math Genie exam questions. Have a go, pause the video, and unpause when you've done. So, on our first question, we're asked on the grid enlarge a triangle by a scale factor of -2, with the centre of 0, 1. This means when we draw our guidelines, they must all go through the point 0, 1. So, we draw a line here, we draw a line here, and we draw a line here. When you're doing this in real life, don't stop, but I have stopped because this is where the triangle will end up being, because the triangle is right here. When you're doing it in real life, make sure you draw your pencils all the way through, and then you can draw in your triangle later, then rub out using your rubber. But also, look at the graph for hints. We can see the small triangle goes from 2 to 4, so the negative enlargement will go from -4 to -8. And same, if it's got a height of 3, it'll have a height of 6. You can enlarge it by 2. With enlarging and graphing exam questions of any sorts, you'll be asked to give reasons or a description of the transformation that has taken place. Most times, you'll be given 2 transformations, but will be asked to explain in a single transformation. With this, you draw your guidance lines at the very end, so you can see the final centre of enlargement. Most commonly, these will be rotations, and most commonly around 180 degrees. Here's another Math Genie exam question for you. Have a go, pause the video, and unpause when you've done. So, we're asked to describe fully the single transformation that maps triangle A to triangle B. As we've already got the shapes given to us, we draw in our guidelines from there to there. And we won't draw our final guideline because it has the same line as our second guideline. But as we can see, it goes through the point -1, 0. It's not a rotation because it gets bigger. So it's an enlargement by a negative scale factor. And as we look from -4 to 2, we go from -1 to 5. So this means we've gone from 2 to 4. So it's going to be an enlargement of -2. So it's an enlargement by the scale factor -2 around the point of -1, 0. Now it's time to have a go at some of the hardest exam questions you'll probably be asked on negative scale factors. Have a go, pause the video, and unpause when you've done. So, shape A is reflected in the line x equals -1 to get shape B, and shape B is reflected in the line y equals -2 to give the shape C. Describe the single transformation that will map shape A to shape C. So first, let's draw in our line x equals -1, which is this vertical line here. We then see how many coordinate points across from the line to each point of the triangle. We then use this to draw our other triangle, shape B, which is here. Now, as we've drawn shape B, we draw in the line y equals -2, which is this horizontal line here, and then count how many coordinate points to each point of the triangle of shape B to draw shape C. So, shape C is this triangle at this point here. Now we draw in our guidance lines from shape A to shape C, but you don't have to because you've already drawn in your two lines. As you can see, y equals -2 and x equals -1 intersect at the point -1, -2. So if I was to draw in my guidance lines, it would meet at this point here. So it's just a rotation of 180 degrees around the point of -1, -2. Here is another exam question for you to have a go at. Have a go, pause the video, and then pause when you've done. So, shape A is reflected in the line x equals 1 to give shape B, and shape B is reflected in the line y equals -1 to give shape C. Describe the single transformation that will map shape A to shape C. So first we draw in the line x equals -1, which is this vertical line here. Draw the reflection, so our triangle B would be here. We then draw in our line y equals -1, which is this horizontal line. Draw the reflection here, and we get our triangle here. Now, we know our point is where the two lines intersect, and we know it's a scale factor of -1, which means it's a rotation of 180 degrees. So it's a rotation of 180 degrees around the point 1, -1. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of today's lesson. I did say it was that easy. Thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.